everybody, it's Calxiyn and Hunter here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, you should subscribe for more reaction videos. Today we are reacting to Red vs. Blue 0 episode 8, part 2 of the last episode. So yeah, that's a little bit of a mouthful, but yeah, we're watching the finale of this season. Hopefully it's good, so we're just gonna get it right into it. We're gonna watch it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit at the end. See what we thought of the season as a whole, of this episode, if it's gonna get another season. It's one of those things where it's like, sometimes seasons exist as like one season and you're okay with just that one season. That one season, you know, exists and like it had a satisfying conclusion for a season but could still continue on and have another one. I hope that that's like this, but with 15 minutes left, I don't trust it.
But
so
arguably, Red vs. Blue could have done that in season 13.
Oh wow, so we're just skipping the opening credits. We're just getting right into it.
This guy, he's in like super mode.
Do not check your... Are you really
Did
checking
they
your
reference
guns
the
now?
Hulk?
I'm stressing.
I think
Did they reference...
Headspace for this?
Wait, okay, if the Hulk exists, I have a lot.
I'm sorry. She just put something on her back and clearly nothing was there.
Did she?
She
Do you
totally
want to go
did.
back? Hold on.
I mean, kind of, because they're both checking their guns.
Mode. We don't have a
And
Hulk.
she like grabbed
Okay.
something from her back. I don't think anything was even there.
Wait. You're not telling me we're supposed to fight this guy? He's in like super mode. We don't have a Hulk.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess maybe something was clipped there and that it just never showed it. Okay.
Oh yeah, what's she grabbing
No,
at
she's
him?
pulling stuff from her. Okay.
Anyway.
I'm the only one who noticed this and was bothered by it.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
I feel like it's been 2 weeks since we've watched one of these.
Yeah, we fell behind a little bit.
Doubles their power, but also doubles their energy consumption.
Oh, okay.
Basically, the more you use them, the greater the risk.
They're
of
little wind-up toys, eh?
I guess so. I'm like, why couldn't you have used that the 18 other times you had life or death confrontations with this dude?
Ah, I love him though.
I
love
feel
him
like
a
this
lot.
is the Red vs. Blue version of the guy versus Gaara fight in Naruto when he takes the weights off and they crash on the ground and he goes light speed. I don't know. Weeb reference.
Need a plan.
Come on, Carolina. You can do better than that.
Yeah. I feel like we never got an adequate explanation of who these fellows are. These little goblin alien boys.
Yeah.
I
This
do
is
like
pretty
her little
cool.
weapons though. They're neat.
Yeah, the aliens are shooting guns, so that's kind of funny.
It's very RvB. It kind of reminds me of Blake's weapon, actually. Carolina's thing.
Ooh.
Come on, Carolina.
Oh wait, no. It's just she's holding a gun as well.
That's it. If a single explosion won't overload his shield, then how about...
There's no escape.
I love how the people are just jumping around in the background
Yeah.
and not hitting. Like, yay, boss!
Okay.
I can't get over those. Oh!
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, the sticky bombs that they mentioned last episode.
All right, well that's good. Good use of, you know.
Oh, she
Set up.
hides behind the raver. That's good.
Yeah. Now
Oh.
you can take that.
Axe thing.
Yeah. Well, that was all right.
Wash.
I think it
Aw.
was a good fight.
Well, now that guy's just dead. I guess he wasn't as intimidating as we thought.
Her code name's Grandma. Oh,
Yeah. I like she's embraced the grandma.
War Grandma.
But yeah, that wasn't a bad fight, but they sort of cleaned that up really fast.
Yeah.
You know? Like, oh, just explode him.
Oh wow, hitting people works. I guess it does.
Ooh, nice. Okay,
Ooh.
that was pretty cool. We like that. The music's pretty hype too. Very video game music.
I thought so too.
Ha! Oh, okay.
I did it.
I did it! Yay!
There's no way he's gonna emerge from that
I
smoke.
did it! Oh.
Well, that's kind of funny.
How many times you gonna do that, man? Like, just so I know.
That was a good line. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know about the follow-up after of him being like,
follow-up.
how many times are you gonna do
Like,
that?
guess
man?
again.
But the initial line, I like it.
It'd be better if you just
Woo!
walked out and then cut to like a quit like, ah, jeez. I don't know. I can't write either. Don't mind me. Ooh, I like the camera work here.
Ah! Yeah!
Ooh, I like the sort of steady cam
boyfriends are
here.
fighting, Hunter.
Our boyfriends are fighting.
Yes.
Our boyfriends? Are we in a polyamorous relationship? Is Arnold okay with that? The person whom we're also in a polyamorous relationship with?
That horn looks really stupid on you.
Aw, damn.
You fool.
Whoa! Ah! Yeah, she took it!
That's good. I like that.
I am now.
Yay! I like it. Woo!
Rocket.
That's not what a rocket jump is, but okay.
Ah, I like this. Yeah! Go Carolina!
It's not a
makes me
sneak
happy.
attack when you say sneak attack, but I'm okay with that.
You learned nothing.
Ah, that was cool.
Yeah, nice one.
Eyes up.
Ooh. Oh my god. The guy is...
Your resolve.
Yeah,
Oh.
this guy is just like,
God.
fuck, like, are you actually trying? Ooh. What happened to one in
Raymond.
Axel?
Maybe they got whacked somewhere. They're good. They'll be back, presumably.
Oh, there
Oh,
they
sorry.
are, yeah. I was like, where did they go, bro?
You know what I think is gonna work? Shooting him. That thing that has
Yeah,
never been shown
cool.
to work before.
Nice!
Oh god.
Ooh.
This has very like boss in a video game
I
energy.
kind of like it.
I do like it.
Slippery, I'm growing tired of these games.
You're slippery? Okay. I'm slippery, if you know what I
I need to mentally scrub that from my memory banks.
I was just joking.
Slippery though. That is the
That's the word
worst.
he used! Anyway,
That
back
is
to
the
this.
worst possible
It's a really cool fight.
adjective you could have used.
I really like this.
It's so lovely. Yeah, doesn't it just make you slippery?
Nice!
Wait, where's Knife Wife right now?
Well, no, they're both there.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Because this is the separate fight.
I like it. I like how they're both like separate and fighting. I really like it.
Oh! I'm
He's
gonna
just
give you a
hugging
hug
her.
until you love me.
I'm sorry.
No!
He blew her up?
What did you do?
What happened?
You die today, old man.
Aww.
Your mother, she died for you. I just stood there and let horrible things happen.
Aww.
So I'm ready to do the same. No matter what. I'll always love you.
Aww.
Eee! So I guess they just rejoined. I guess
Yeah, I guess. So.
she's okay. Wow, she just left him?
A swift kick to the face.
What
are you gonna do?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
is that some?
Alright, come on, Zero!
The Zero I knew wouldn't take someone out while they're down. You're too cocky for that, right?
You should have crawled away and hid under a rock.
Oh.
Maybe then you would have had a chance to
Hunter.
make it out of here alive.
The boyfriends are fighting. What is this?
The storm again, right? This guy doesn't think he's worthy.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Strong, yes.
See? Oh
But it seems you are
no!
not fit to wield my power. It's a shame, too. I was just starting to like it.
Well, okay, you can still like him.
Was it?
Give him a chance!
That's
You
new.
can't control it.
Let's end this.
This is
before
very
we can.
like Super Sonic the Hedgehog. He's like gold and glowing.
Ah, yeah!
So I feel like they're gonna win this by just not dying for long enough for the god to get bored with him. Oh no! I
Ah,
thought he got
nice,
stabbed there for a minute.
nice! And you can see the blues. Did you see that? Like, the red and blue, like, effect?
Did he just clone himself?
Alright,
What
kill
is
them,
that?
Zero!
This is the power I need to burn the world down.
That feels very like Mommy, the creating. Oh,
Whoa! Uh-oh. Why?
that's a good point. Why the sudden change of heart?
Liz? What?
I don't mind
I'm not
that.
here for
I don't
you
mind that.
or for them. You've got bigger problems. Can you fight?
Yeah. Former enemy? I think he's struggling to control the power. It's like his connection is unstable.
What? Yeah, why is it
Also,
chained
there's
apart? Was it just because the dad loved?
Tide is running
Uh-oh.
out, the Zero. Shall I take over?
This is my power. My will. I
Ah.
will never be anyone's puppet.
I think he just will
Not
self-destruct.
again.
Oh.
I will destroy everything.
All right, let's do it.
Man, okay,
The
Shadow
Super
Squad.
Saiyan budget
We need
was
to end this.
really
Right here,
exhausted
right
in
now.
this
But
episode.
yeah, I wonder, like,
No,
oh,
I'm not with you or your team.
Well, way to be
But
a
I
team
will
player.
help.
but
Take
why?
you down.
I thought she wanted it though.
I guess she just doesn't. I don't know, man.
Maybe she wants it for herself, or maybe she just doesn't want to see the world burn anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why this change happened exactly. Like, obviously, I know that like she didn't kill the dad, so obviously she
I
had
don't
to
know,
change
man.
apart.
The character
But based on
motivation-
what she wanted
Yeah.
before, I'm not really sure. You know what I mean?
The character motivation in the show has never been totally crystal clear.
Yeah. Maybe she'll explain it. Come on! Oh, I want Zero to win. I'm sorry. That's what I've been watching this show for. Yeah! Yee!
That was a nice. I like.
That was a nice move, yeah.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh, I like that. Tense. I like when you skirted that.
See, they're winning because they all work together
Have
and
a
they're all
team.
fighting at once.
You with me?
Okay, that's kind of cute though still. Yeah! Okay, that's a little...
That's very
That's a
red
little
versus
cringy.
blue. The second thing. Aw.
That's nice, but yeah.
Not quite.
Uh-oh! They blew him up too? Aw, man, those sticky bombs, bro. Solving everything.
Seems like you've reached your limit. Looks that way.
I feel like
Is
there's
it
another
over?
sex joke to be made
Did
about
we get him?
Axel
I
with
can't
that,
see.
or rather Zero.
Why is no one
I
saying
won't be
anything?
making it.
How? With all this power.
Because you don't have the power of friendship, Zero. Sorry to say.
Is it gonna be the god?
Not bad for a bunch of humans.
Ooh, I like the smoke
Huh.
effect.
As for you, I am not yet ready to return to another cage. I'll save you this time, but we have a long and painful
Oh, dear.
ahead of us.
It sounded like he survived. He
Man.
survived.
Stay sharp.
Uh-oh.
Don't let me
Aw.
fight. No.
He just wants to fight, Hunter. Well, now we have to save Zero. He's being controlled by, like, an evil god.
What
Oh, wait,
happened?
he's gone.
Is he gone?
Uh-oh, second season.
I don't know. It looked painful.
The sword's there.
We put so much into finding that power, but we had no idea what it was.
If only we had
Careful,
more
sure, I guess.
exposition.
Found West. He's in grody shape, but I think he's gonna be a-okay. We're calling AOD for support and evac.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay. Just completely emasculated. You know. On the bright side, I'm pretty sure I hit my daily steps goal. So what do we call you now, by the way? Phase? East? Feast?
You can call me Danielle. You can call me
I like
Jamie.
feats.
Lance.
Oh fuck! Now I have to
We're all
remember
using code names?
real names
The whole
now.
time?
Yeah. You should have gotten an email about picking one out.
My phone is still dead. No one has a butt I can use to charge it?
Come on, Grandma. Ugh. What happened? They did it. They actually stopped him.
Well,
No, we did it. At least for now.
I guess he just
Glad
used
you
his
picked the
actual
right
name.
team.
Okay.
I knew you would.
And everyone
Shadow
lived
Squad.
happily ever after, except for the
So,
dad, who's probably
Did this
still
count as team building?
past.
Or did we want to still try that escape room?
What if we just watched a movie instead? No.
Wait, so is FaZe part of the team now?
Well, yeah, I mean, because FaZe was East, and East was part of the team, so now FaZe is part of the team again.
Class I've been eyeing.
Right?
Fight right now? What's wrong with you?
Right?
She was experimented on as a kid.
Wow.
That's a good line.
I feel like that this was just really rushed.
Yeah.
Like, this was resolved, like, the blue guy went down because he exploded, and then Zero went down because he exploded and because the god captured him, and then FaZe just suddenly turned good. Like, I know that it was always going to that point, like, oh, your dad loves you, so now you're gonna embrace his love and stop being evil. Like, I understand what they were going for, but I feel like that overall, this was just rushed so hard. Like, FaZe, like, I feel like the character switch in her was very sudden. Like, I get she didn't kill her dad. She didn't want to kill her dad anymore. He hugged her. I get it. But, like, I feel like that Zero just being like, they really used those sticky bombs to solve everything. And I get that they were fighting, too. And so it was sort of like, okay, well, you know, they actually did do battle. They just didn't explode him and everything was fine. Like, they did fighting first. But I feel like that was a cheap way to solve both fights. And then to have the god just take Zero away after he's been such a big character. Like, maybe I'm just a simp, okay? Maybe I'm just a Zero simp, but I feel like that it wasn't very satisfying to see that ending for him.
It
based
wasn't...
on everything that is and I think that it's definitely setting up for some season 2 bullshit of, like, the gods out there.
Yeah.
Right. And, like, they gotta go get Zero, and then Zero will turn good, too. Like, it's setting that up, right? Like, for Zero to be on their team, and they're all gonna fight against the god. Like, we sort of talked about that last episode, but I feel like that it's just sort of, like, I don't know, like, it had good ideas, but it was just so rushed, and, like...
It's just, I feel like the characters weren't that interesting. I feel like the character motivations, like Zero, like, you liked Zero, but at the end of the day, I feel like East had a better motivation than Zero.
But then they just took it away.
I would understand if Zero was like...
Her dad hugged her and they got rid of that motivation.
I also like... Zero would make sense as a sort of anarchist, but he's not. He's just kind of wants to destroy the world.
Oh, there was nothing at the end.
To destroy the world.
Well, that's fine. But yeah, so there's nothing at the back. But yeah, I'm just sort of like overall just a little bit meh about how it ended. Like, I understand what that person in my Discord was saying, that it ended at a place where we could get nothing from RvB Zero again. Like, we could not get a second season, and then it's just like, we can imagine they're now a better team and they're doing whatever they do in Red versus Blue. The bad guy's been taken care of. The god has disappeared. Like, it seems fine in theory, but then it also sets up a season 2 where it's like, well, clearly they're gonna get Zero back. They're all gonna fight against the god. Like, you can see that that's where it's going, but I don't know. I just think overall, like, if I could go back in time and tell my past self whether or not to watch this show, would I waste my time? Like, it wasn't that bad, and, like, you guys...
If you were, would you watch this if it wasn't for YouTube? Because I don't know if I would.
No, I wouldn't. Absolutely
Because, like, there's parts... I don't want to be, like, overly mean to it, because there are parts I like. I think the action's really great. I think some of the character beats and some of the writing can be quite good.
But, like, I would absolutely not watch this for, like, maybe as something in the background while I'm doing other work. Like, if I was writing an essay, maybe I'd put on some RvB Zero just as background noise. But would I, like, sit down on the couch and, like, give my full attention to this if it wasn't a YouTube video? No. Like, I just wouldn't. And, like, the reactions did do, like, okay. Like, I think they all have, like, around 1,000. Like, views aren't everything. They all have 1,000 views each. But, like, we could have been making something. Like, we could have been making something else. Like, Attack on Titan, I think, has been, like, minimum 1,000 to, like, 3,000 views each week, like, doing Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan takes a lot more work. But I don't know. Like, I know that's a weird thing to compare it to, but I'm just thinking in terms of, like, us spending our time on this. I don't know. I do think... Would we say this now and then probably do videos on season 2? Like, I feel like we probably would, because
we're
ultimately we just want to keep giving, like, Rooster Teeth chances. Like, we want to keep giving these shows chances. If it gets a season 2, is this sort of like RvB, where the first volume in a lot of ways is rushed story-wise, but, you know, as it goes on, it gets more runtime. But I hate that, though. Like, why does every show that Rooster Teeth puts out, like, except for Genlock, right? And, like, camp and stuff that's not story based, but why does this need to be justified using, but Volume 1 of RvB was like this, like that was 2013. It is 2021.
They had the budget
right?
of like a ham sandwich.
And so I get it, like people are like, well, you gave RvB Volume 1 that one chance, but like, why does every Rooster Teeth show need to be RvB Volume 1? Like, why can't it just be good running out the gate? Right? Like, I feel like Genlock, for all of its outside flaws, like, internally, I really enjoyed it. Like, I think there were still internal flaws. Like, I think there were still flaws, like, with the narrative a little bit, but was it this bad where every week I was just left, like, a little confused?
Like, the writing was good.
Yeah.
My 3 things with this is that I feel like the characters and story were kind of limp.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like motivations weren't 100% there. I think that the world and the world building wasn't great.
Yeah.
It just sort of felt like generic and imprecise and vague.
Yeah, and like I don't know how regular Red versus Blue was, but like
different and better.
I think as a new viewer, I would actually be turned off from watching original Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
If I watched this, being told that you don't need to watch RvB to watch this because this is a spin-off, I would actually like be turned off by ever going back and watching regular RvB, and I don't think they care.
Which isn't 100%
like, you
true,
know,
'cause,
RvB's
like,
kind of done, but like I would be totally like, why the fuck would I watch regular RvB after this if this is what RvB is? But I kept being told that this is not what RvB is whatsoever. And like, I think it's good that they wanted to try something new, but it just sucks when people try something new, but then it's bad. Because then it's like, we want Rooster Teeth to try new things, but then what happens when their new things suck? Like, they think that we don't want new things anymore. And in a sense, was this really a new thing?
It really wasn't.
Because it wasn't. It was a spin-off. And so...
I feel like this would have been more interesting if they did a kind of new sci-fi comedy, whatever show.
But they probably think, like, oh, this is a new thing compared to just continuing regular RvB and, like, RvB and stuff. Right? And so I just hope that they don't think, oh, like, they hate new things or, like, whatever. Like, we should never do a spin-off, right? Because everybody talks about RvB spin-off, like Team Coffee Book spin-off, and make that into a show, and like we definitely want that. That would definitely do well.
And I think it'll happen one day. There'll be like a Ruby Shippuden one day.
So,
you know?
But like, what happens when, I don't know, just what happens when there's a new thing and it just kind of, it's a little warm. Like, what do you do,
I don't know. The animation wasn't great. It always felt like they were puppets and they just like gesticulated
like, visually,
weirdly
the animation was beautiful,
when
but
they
the
were
actual
fighting,
movement of the
but
bodies
it just felt
was a little
really
weird
sometimes motion capture can feel natural, and sometimes it can feel just like you got to do gesticulating with a suit full of ping pongs on it, and that's kind of how I felt with that one.
Because like visually, it's stuff like
the fight scenes were
beautiful
still great.
in terms of like the visual quality.
Every once in a while, there'll
really
be like
nice.
a camera or like a piece of animation or like a camera movement or lack of movement that felt awkward.
Yeah, I think the dialogue, like I think Raymond's Raymond in this episode is a perfect example of like, oh yeah, that's funny, but then he's like, oh, how many times do we have to do that, guy? Like, let me know so I can fix it. And I'm just like, you could have just like sometimes short and sweet, right? You don't need to continue the joke. Sometimes if you just had that cutoff, that would have made it better. Like, I just find it very odd that with some of the stuff just went on too long. You're like, suck it, nerd. Like, bro, he has god powers and he's taking over the world. Like, really? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be like, haha, funny. Like, RvB's supposed to be the funny show or whatever. But I'm just sort of sitting here like, who is this humor really for? Like,
the humor didn't land a lot of the time.
Maybe this just isn't for us, Hunter, and that's fine. But at the same time, it's like, I hate the idea that something is made for kids. Like, all the stuff that I watch, like Miraculous or even Disney. When you think about
RvB as well.
Disney and RvB and like animation is not for kids, right? And I hate the idea that stuff is made like for kids, so you need to make it stupid, right? You need to put cringy jokes like the suck it nerds and like I don't know, the other stuff.
That was a Red versus Blue reference.
I know, but like some of the other stuff that's in here, like the other jokes that they made, like I don't know, calling the phone and the butt, like they did that like a couple times, and I'm like, once it's fine, like to do it a few more times, I don't know. But I'm just like, this humor, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but I just feel like that there are kids shows that have humor for both kids and then the adult audience
or it's
as
just
well.
enjoyable.
Or it's just
from
enjoyable
multiple.
humor for multiple angles, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like that this was explicitly made for like edgy 12-year-olds that still think butt jokes are funny or something. And they
Or, like-
can be, but like these ones weren't or whatever, right? Or just like the edginess
Or just like
of it.
extreme ADD fight scene
Yeah.
thing. I don't know.
And like, don't get me wrong, my ADHD very much enjoyed the fight scenes, but it's everything else and having to sort of
from the way you
slog
describe
through
your slipperiness, I think different parts of your anatomy also enjoyed
Anyway,
the fight scenes.
But yeah, like I really liked the villains, and then suddenly like Zero just disappeared.
Phase's
Phase went
fight
away,
scenes,
so-
fight scenes involving Phasing were genuinely like inspired and super interesting. I think the
Yeah.
fight scenes were excellent. It's a shame they just had a better like plot and better
Yeah.
animation and better characters and better act. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I think that Fiona Nova and a lot of the people involved in this can do a really interesting
Yeah.
show. I just don't think that this was it.
I don't think so either. And so
Mhm.
that's the thing that sucks. It's like you want the people at RT that you know to succeed.
Yeah.
But what happens when they
You
make
want the-
something that's a little lukewarm
You
about
want
it,
the
right?
good people. Like Fiona Nova is a good person. Like
Yeah.
all these people involved are good, interesting people. I saw interviews with a lot of people that did Zero before it had started.
Yeah.
They all seem like interesting, talented people. I want good people to make good stuff.
Yeah.
It just this wasn't 100% it.
Yeah, I think that that's fair. And
Mhm.
it's just, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's kind of sad because I want to keep like throwing RT the bones, but I'm like, how many more bones can I throw? Like, I know a lot of people are trying to
Yeah.
justify the new shows by comparing the new shows to RvB. Like, think about how the first volume of RvB was, but like, why again does RvB
I
Zero
see.
need to be like the first volume
Maybe,
of RvB?
but there's
Like, I don't
way
know.
more potential in the first season of RvB than there is in this season
Yeah.
of Red vs.
And I
Blue.
think it's just
I will
like, just
say that.
leave it alone. Like, just leave RvB alone.
Because like Ruby had but unlike all the thing was the animation was also a little wonky in places, but Ruby had better writing. It had more interesting characters. It
Yeah.
had more interesting
And there are
worlds,
still
and it had fight
problems with
scenes.
RvB Volume 1.
Yeah, there
but, like,
is.
Was I this annoyed with
Or,
RvB
like,
Volume 1? I don't think
Flabbergasted,
so,
or
right?
I saw the proof. I was
Or just
interested in it. I
confused, I
wanted it
don't
to
know.
continue. I liked it. It still had more stuff than just the fight scenes, whereas, Zero seems to
Yeah.
really just have the fight scenes.
I feel like we didn't really get to like anyone other than the villains and
Or, like,
Axel.
FaZe.
But that's just more because of my,
Yeah.
shipping
But
both of them together.
even Zero, it was like, really, what was his motivations? Was it to like destroy the system? That would be cool, but you really didn't do anything in it. You just made him like a generic wants to destroy the world man.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
guess.
I
I
like
think that was the idea, though, for him to want to be, like...
the inter-team dynamic was always like awkward and
Yeah, and I
never
know that
felt
was kind of the
natural.
point, like, oh, we're not a team yet, but, like,
Yeah.
Genlock did that.
But it did it way better.
Yeah, and, like,
You know?
even
Ruby did that, and it did it way better. So I feel
I
like
don't know.
comparing this show to Ruby Volume 1 isn't really fair. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should have ended Red vs. Blue
I
at
think so,
13.
too.
Maybe 14, because 14 was more like fan fiction and background and nothing really all that important. I'm wondering if this was done on the cheap and that they sell enough merchandise and so enough people watch this that it can continue to exist. But I'm like, is it better to just like have a slow death of a franchise that's probably been going on since 13 or 14, or
I
is
think
it
that the thing
better
is,
just
like,
to
I
end
don't
it
know
there?
if the merch is selling well, though. Like,
don't
I mean,
know.
I saw the Knife Wife shirt. I think that was a good idea, like, just because it plays into the memes and
Mhm.
plays into the fandom. But, like, is the show selling well? I don't know. Actually, why don't we, I know that this video is getting a little hella long, but why don't we just end off, I just want to, like, look through the comments and, like, see what people are saying.
Can anyone explain why FaZe changed sides? Someone says. Yep.
Yeah.
All I have to left to say about the new
This
twist
season was awful. Too much fighting and not enough of everything else that makes me give a crap about who wins the fight.
That's
yeah,
true.
like I was rooting for the villains like the whole time because I did not
Yeah.
care about one or any of them. I'm so glad it's over. Get it right next time. Again, I'm not trying to like be mean or like read hate comments, but I'm just trying to see. This was a good episode, but it was way too fast. There were no words by FaZe for her to consider changing sides, even if it was obvious she would join the Shatter Squad. Yeah, so I think that's more of a balanced criticism. Like there are good ideas here, but it's just disappointingly quick.
A lot of what I'm seeing here is people like some of the old stuff was better, and the old stuff
Yeah.
had its issues, but it was like the characters were more interesting and the writing was more interesting than what it is now. I feel like doing stuff like I talked about this before, but in season 14, they did a brief thing where they talked about two characters, Felix and Locus, when they were just criminals on the run doing space stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like a really like bright part of that season, and it had its own sort of unique visual style. And I feel like if they just did a Felix and Locus spin-off series about them, you know, their early life, I think that would be way more interesting. Oh, hey, Dax. Dax is a fun person, a cosplayer on Twitter.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
well, they said physically
painful. She's
so...
a ginormous Red vs. Blue fan, and she's complained so much about this.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
I support that. Honestly, I may go follow her on Twitter. But
she's great. But,
the comments are mixed. Like, some people are like, you guys are seeing RvB through some rose-colored glasses, and I'm like, I haven't watched it, though.
But, yeah.
So, I feel like that I have a very unbiased view, biased by RvB. Let me just say that. Not that I don't have any bias, right? But I don't have any bias in relation to Red versus Blue and like, oh, well, Red versus Blue 13 was better. Like, I don't have any of that. I just watched this
am the one that's
in
biased.
the vacuum. And so I'm just like, this was bad. It's okay. Like, not all of it was bad, but like, I'm just leaving this video very annoyed, to be perfectly honest.
Do you think they're going to do another season?
I don't think they'll get the budget.
I don't think they'll do another Red versus Blue 0. I like the idea of a Felix and Locus spinoff, but
I think what's gonna happen is the same thing. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we would love to make more seasons of Camp, but we're waiting for a network, right? No one's gonna pick up this shit, at least in my personal opinion.
You have a better chance of people picking up Camp than Red versus Blue 0.
I totally agree. So I think that this was just hey, let's show this to the networks, and then they'll invest money into our show and put it on a net. No, but this isn't going anywhere, I don't think. I don't think that they have enough views or made enough money off of merch to justify a season 2. Maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion. Maybe that will change in the future, because I don't know the numbers. I don't know the merch sales. I don't really know how the show is doing.
There's this,
right?
But maybe it's like The Room, and people just ironically love the shit out of this show.
Maybe there's this big underground RvB 0. Because listen, I haven't heard anyone about it. None of the RvB tubers are talking about it, except for Eruption Fang. I think that we're the only ones reacting to it. Eruption Fang is dragging the fuck out of it. Let's just make that
He's done a bunch
clear,
of like Red versus Blue videos that I've watched in the past, where it's like every Easter egg in this like strand of Red
he's
versus
doing
Blue.
like weekly reviews, and he's like, I think he does not like it. I think that he's dragging the fuck out of the show. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen enough that I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. And like, that's not shade to him or anything. Like, it kind of deserves it.
That's sort of what we were doing.
Like, I'm thinking about who is making videos about this show, and if your biggest video producer is us doing reactions, and then Eruption Fang who hates it, it's just not going well. Like,
and we haven't been overwhelmingly positive about this show either.
Why don't people
for people who say we're like shills for Red or for RT,
Rooster Teeth, right? Like,
we talk shit about them when they don't make very good shows.
I guess my question is content creation indicative of people's passion about a show? Because if people feel passionate about something, they'll make videos about it. I feel like that's an inevitable. And I feel like that even in communities that don't have like, the RvB tubers, whatever, even in communities that don't have a group, like Kingdom Hearts, they have a group of YouTubers, like we have a group of YouTubers in RvB. Like, I would say like for Miraculous and stuff like that, like there's not like a Miraculous tubers, like unless I'm just not in it, right? Like there's nothing like that. And so like Miraculous has a lot of videos, like other anime, like video essays are very popular, right? So I think to some extent, content creation is indicative of how popular the show is, because if people feel passionate enough, they'll make content, and if other people feel passionate enough, they'll watch it. Fan art, fan fiction, YouTube videos, theories.
You see that with The Mandalorian, you see that with The Witcher, you see that with all this stuff.
And so my question is, if the only two people that are making videos about it don't feel very nicely about the show, and obviously there may be other people, I haven't seen it.
I want to watch the YouTube video
I haven't seen
of the person just decked out in Red versus Blue merch, foaming at the mouth at how great Red versus Blue 0 is.
Yeah, so that's just what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that no one else in the world is making videos about Red versus Blue 0. I just personally have not seen it to the extent where, like, Eruption Fang's videos comes into my recommendeds, right? Like, I haven't seen anything being recommended specifically to me that is another channel covering the show. But I am sort of wondering, like, with RvB, there's this big boom of content every single year, but with this show, it is very much so crickets as far as I can tell. And I understand that RvB is an established franchise, but
so is Red vs. Blue.
Yes, exactly.
There's a lot of fan fiction and fan work and fan videos about the original Red vs. Blue.
And so my question is, I guess, like, to wrap this all up is, Hunter's right, like, this is established, but at the same time, people like to jump on things when they first air so they can get ahead of it, right? Like, think about RvB. Like, if Rooster Teeth was making the next RvB, wouldn't you want to get in on it, right? Like, instead, like, reaction-wise.
If they did a spin-off.
Because people still react to the first volumes of RvB. People still react to, like, first couple seasons of RvB, right? Like, people still get into it, but I know those people wish that they were there from the beginning, because you've seen the channels that are there from the beginning, like Arnold, and see how those channels have, you know, grown because they've been there from the very start, right? And so I feel like that people do, like, want to react to Camp. They do want to react to Genlock. They want to react so when Genlock gets 8 seasons, they're the first one there. But as Rooster Teeth made something in the past couple of years that is enough like RvB or Red vs. Blue, and I think the answer is just no. Like, Camp to some extent, but you can't make theories about Camp.
I think Genlock
I mean, Genlock needs another season, Hunter.
It needs another
right?
season,
like,
but it's gonna get one. I feel like we're being too negative about Genlock.
But we can't rely on Genlock right now. I don't think that any of the Rooster Teeth shows show any kind of sense of longevity. I guess that's what I should say. Because it's not just about us as content creators, but it's also just, does this show have a long lifespan? Camp had 4 seasons. I would say that that's pretty good. But everything else, Nomad, Genlock, this show, right?
Well,
and Nomad was actually good.
Genlock.
So I'm a little worried.
RvB Chibi.
Right? RvB Chibi. So I'm just getting a little worried. Seems like that now. Like, I understand why, but it seems like that nothing's doing well enough to justify making it on its own. Everything needs to be picked up by Netflix or HBO Max.
This is the issue, whereas before Rooster Teeth operated like its own Netflix, like it was a platform for its own stuff. Now it kind of wants to be a production studio where it creates material for other platforms.
Yeah.
Like television, like HBO Max, like Netflix.
Yeah. But I feel like that's just a problem for us because it's like all these things come out and they look cool, but then
I don't know.
what happens to them?
I'm still optimistic. I hope that they move away from like just rehashing bad ideas. They go into more interesting stuff. I'm optimistic for Genlock. I liked Genlock. I think they have better people involved now. I think we can more reliably trust.
I mean, they introduced a new writers team and stuff, right? So.
Like more like interesting, better stuff moving forwards. Yeah. So I'm optimistic for Rooster Teeth. I'm not optimistic for this show.
No, absolutely.
I had pretty like low expectations, and it was kind of like met my low expectations.
Yeah.
More or less.
I guess I'm different than Hunter. Yeah. I'm just on the fence about Rooster Teeth right now, and then I'm on the fence. I'm like totally done with it. Yeah. Like I have no faith in this show getting a second season. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'll be pretty surprised.
But I'm like sort of teetering on being a little hopeless with Rooster Teeth. Just with, again, I feel like the Nomad and then the outside problems with Genlock and then Arizal. Like I feel like that all these things have compounded on each other, and now we're here, and I'm just a little like fed up that all these shows that like because I really liked Arizal and I really love Nomad, and I feel like that Nomad had so much potential, right? And so I just feel like that it's almost like, you know, fool me once, shame on me. But now it's just like 4 times, right? Like I'm starting to get a little frustrated. And so yeah, that's basically it. I hope that you guys enjoyed the reaction at the very least. And we will see you guys hopefully in the next one. Bye.
Next one?
There's
not going to be a next one.
Next video, whatever they decide.
Next video, Red vs. Blue 02. That's a terrible name. A totally different Red vs. Blue. Maybe Arizal comes out.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you next time, hopefully in a RvB video. Bye, guys.